I'm back.
So the Acolyte is out, and in true Star Wars fashion, it's a double episode premiere.
It's worked so well for them in the past.
Because they don't write good first episodes. So they're like, if we give them 2...
It's like they can't even get permission from Disney to do a first episode that's like an hour and a half, like a mini movie.
Honestly,
a feature-length premiere.
Combine them and then it'll feel better. It's the main problem with all of their stuff. It's just the structure's terrible. I think it's the 8 episodes. Game of Thrones always did 10, and that always just worked out so well. And as soon as Game of Thrones started doing 8 episodes, it felt rushed and clustered and it didn't feel good. Because, like, how do you break up 8 episodes into a good story? You do 2 episodes for your intro, 4 episodes of boringness in the middle, and then a 2-episode finale, really.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it always ends up
one
being.
of those has to be like a flashback episode as well.
Especially because we have a backstory of the show.
We have a backstory in this.
We're getting a flashback
Take
episode.
me back to the times of 23 episodes a season, and it's 45-minute episodes.
Yeah, I love old shows.
You could just be stuck in it forever.
22 episodes is how you get attached to characters.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the actual episode. What were your initial thoughts? What did you think about the Acolyte?
I think the lady who used to corral people for Harvey Weinstein did a good job. No, I don't know. I'm so torn. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I'm kind of caught in the middle. I'm a bit of both worlds. I'm a bit of May and I'm a little bit of Osha. I don't know how to feel about this. This is a really good space show.
Oh, you're in the doesn't feel like Star Wars camp?
Yeah. And I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. And I know someone in the comments is going to say, maybe it's because they don't all look like you for a change. Which it is very noticeable, but only because I'm looking for it.
No white people for 20 minutes in the first episode. Sorry, no white men.
How come there's no white people except for space rapists and...
I don't know if we would notice if it wasn't already pointed out, though.
I was noticing it. But we had our time in the sun, so...
You see, I'm willing to sacrifice the white men in this episode.
Yeah.
Because it gave me a lot of aliens.
Yes,
and that's something that Star
good.
Wars never has enough of except in the movies. In the movies, they walk into a cantina and it's all aliens.
Yeah.
Whereas in Obi-Wan Kenobi, usually they'd walk in and it's like, it's a whole bar full of people. Like even Andor, everyone's favorite Star Wars, did too many human people because aliens are expensive. I get that. And this show has money. They built sets. It feels a little bit like the Disney kebab shop from Galaxy's Edge.
Well, I don't remember how many aliens we had in Ahsoka. I know there was like a few on like the council and like the people she had to report to, but there was like such limited screen time for aliens. And we didn't get to see many aliens up close like this. I feel like this does a good job at that.
Yeah.
We see some...
I mean, there's more aliens than there are humans for most of it, and I'm okay with that. That's exactly
except
what
they took away the Korean accents.
Our Nemoidians.
The Nemoidians.
Our Nemoidians that are in this
There was a
episode.
Nemoidian woman, and I was like, here it comes. And she's like, oh, there's somebody that needs to da-da-da. And I'm like, that's not racist enough.
They just talk like normal people. It feels strange, and
They're from Space Korea, damn it.
But it is weird because like then no one has like there is no dialects anymore. Every time they speak English, they just speak with normal.
Everyone speaks in like an American accent.
Yeah, that's one thing that felt weird about this show. A lot of American accents. Star Wars to me is so British. Like there's always British actors doing it, and everyone's very British. But in this, it felt very American. But that was something that I guess George Lucas did to make it feel more alien or make it feel more high fantasy, was make everyone British, because that's a shortcut.
It's like
to doing
make the elves English, make the dwarves Scottish. But there was a little like Australian girl maybe, or like Cockney, the one who like got the robots.
Yeah.
She's like, oi, look at me, robot.
And the possible Kiwi.
And I was like, hey.
Kiwi fat Jedi.
She sounds like me.
The show has a plot.
It does.
And
it's really trying, at least.
It doesn't have a plot so much as it has a premise. It's very open-ended currently, but it feels pretty thin. It's almost like it doesn't feel like there's too much to talk about because it's like, oh, what happened? They picked up a girl, they went to a planet, and she saw her sister and went, sister! And there was like 3 fights?
Yeah. So we got Trinity, we had the one with Soul, and then there must have been one more somewhere in there, at least a little bit.
She was trying to punch through a Jedi force field.
Yeah.
But our lead character is, we meet May first.
We meet the evil twin sister, May. This is going to include spoilers because if you've watched it, you've watched it. If you're not going to watch it, you're not going to watch it. Also, and I know what you're saying, you're in my feed. I must be subscribed to you. You're not. Please press the button.
On that note, thank you for 1,000. It's
Yay.
very, very cool of you.
Very cool.
Keep it up. So we meet May first, the evil twin, and she's on a mission to kill Jedi. That's pretty much all we know. She goes in and she Palpatine's a bunch of dumbass Jedi. I don't know if they were Jedi. I guess none of them drew sabers.
She's just sitting at a bar. I think they're just like regular.
But they tried to defend her, I guess. I don't know.
What do you mean Palpatine's people?
Do you remember when Mace Windu goes to confront Palpatine and he walks in and then Palpatine does the 720 flip and then just immediately kills 3 Jedi and it's like because they wanted a 1v1?
Yeah.
She does that. Like everyone is just so stupid except Indara to the point where like some guy's trying to get a gun.
My favorite part is my favorite trope is has guy in headlock looks at somebody like this.
But yeah, she confronts Indara and she's like, come at me with all your might. And Indara's like, no, I'm a Jedi. Don't do that.
It comes off a little bit cringy, but I think it's supposed to be.
It was gross dialogue.
She's like, I need you to attack me with all of your might.
Yeah, it felt like a Chinese film, which maybe they were trying to do the whole, like, it's a kung fu film with bad dubbing.
All the people at the table laugh at her because, like, it's, like, obviously, like, she sounds like a freaking kid.
Yeah, she comes across like a child.
But still, it's like, she keeps up that energy.
She's an edgy teen.
They could have made her at least a bit more badass.
Yeah, she comes across as annoying. I mean, she does technically get her butt kicked by Indara at least, so they haven't made her OP. She wins because she fights dirty and because Indara is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Because Trinity was in all of the marketing for this.
Yeah.
Like, she was in fucking everything.
She's been doing interviews and stuff as well.
And she's in one fight scene. She might come back. You know, Anakin fell into lava and was fine.
Yeah.
So after Anakin blew up the Death Star.
Look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people.
You should just shut up. You should shut up. I love you. You should shut up.
She only got stabbed in the chest with a regular blade.
Through the heart, Osborne. The heart. She just immediately, like, she's dead within 5 minutes. And then we cut to the nice twin sister.
She's laying low, working as a...
Not laying low, just she needed a paycheck.
But, like, she's trying to get as far away from Coruscant as possible.
Yeah.
Like, they mentioned that, like, wow, can't get any further away from Coruscant as this place.
And she's a mechanic because having Anakin being good at building things and having Rey good at building things wasn't enough.
And also, you need a reason for her to have a little droid companion.
We gotta
Sell
get
him,
those
damn it!
Toys. It was annoying because I immediately loved the little droid Pip. Like, they got me with their little marketing thing immediately. I'm like, you bastards.
He's a welder. He's a fire extinguisher. He's a
space
screwdriver.
fire
He's a little
extinguisher.
laser
He's a
thing.
Break out of prison thing.
He's a sonic screwdriver.
He is. I like that he can't move on his own at least.
And he's your best friend.
And best friend. The leading thing you look for in a droid.
Actually, murderous intent is what you look for in a
In an
good
R2
droid.
unit. Yes. If this droid isn't willing to commit war crimes, I'm not bringing it on the mission.
We meet our titular main character, Osha, who is brought into custody by the Jedi because someone who looks exactly like her committed a crime.
Who could it be?
Her, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it must be. Even though everyone knows she has a twin sister and they bring that up like a scene later. Oh, so it was left out of the archives.
Only everybody who knows her at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant knows that.
But basically, they arrest her.
Yod and his Padawan put her onto a robot-operated transport back to Coruscant.
They don't bring her back.
An unmanned
she murdered a Jedi, and these guys just put her on a ship and left her.
Yeah. I hope Yod doesn't get the rank of Master.
I hope Yod dies. Yod fucking sucks. But we'll get to him.
They gave him a cool haircut and a yellow lightsaber.
The one thing I love from that scene was the robots that fly the ship.
They like turn into a chair. That's so cool.
That was so good. That's the annoying thing about this show. It's like it's not good yet, I guess, but they've done a lot of really fun things. So it's like
ship designs are cool.
Yeah, ships look cool. It looks really quite nice overall.
The costumes for the aliens look good.
Aliens all look good. The barkeeper, I was like, damn, this bitch photo real. Like, probably because he's not human, so he's not uncanny, but they've put money in the show. It just kind of falls in the meh category. Like, it didn't offend me apart because I don't really care. There's no white men in it because I got my aliens. I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, because you as a ginger identify closer
as
to
an alien.
An alien.
I'm subhuman as is.
I like the costuming, except for I don't like the
yellow robes.
the Coruscant Jedi robes.
Yeah.
Like we see like the Jedi and like the local Jedi temple, like the Jedi just wears brown robes with the white garment underneath. It looks so clean.
I wonder whether it was just like, oh, it's 100 years ago. We need to make it look different. Make them wear piss yellow.
But like it just looks so clean, like classic Jedi robes with like a brown thing and the white underneath. It looks so good. But I was just like, I guess it looks okay.
It doesn't look like cosplay. which is always a worry with Star Wars stuff. Like if it's done badly, like Netflix Avatar looked awful because they all looked prim and proper, but here it kind of works.
Well, it's like a time of peace, I guess. Like they're all like
but it looks like he wears it every day still. I don't know. Maybe it just feels more natural.
Well, you see Yod, he's like steaming his stuff, keeping it nice and clean and straight.
We do get our
showing off his jacked body.
We get our random skinny boy thirst trap.
Put your clothes on, Yod.
There's sexual tension there. It's gonna happen.
She may be 15.
Osha is not only the good twin, she's a Jedi Padawan 6 years ago. I didn't know you could just leave the order, but I guess that's fine. They don't seem to mind.
I think they wanted her gone, so I think they were fine with her leaving.
It sounded like it, yeah. So I guess there's some mystery there.
They were saying that Trinity from the Matrix wanted her gone.
Yes.
And they were like, maybe that's your reason for killing her.
The blandest of reasons.
Correct.
But yeah, the ship she's on crashes through shenanigans.
And then all of our main characters, Soul from Squid Games, Yod, and X-23 all go on like a little rescue mission to the ice planet to save her, where she's having...
Oh, the ice planet that they put the little logo up. Quick note on that. Every planet we go to gets a title card.
Thanks, Avengers 2.
Because this is the Marvel Universe. It's annoying when they did Coruscant. I don't mind... I didn't mind it as much on like the random snow planet. But usually when they cut to a new planet, they've literally just said the name of the planet.
Yeah.
Like Soul's like, oh, I'm going to go to Snow Planet. And then it cuts to and says Snow Planet. And I'm like, okay. Is this designed so I can be on my phone and be like, where are we? Oh, yeah, cool. Like, it just feels stupid. But the annoying one was when they cut to Coruscant, the most recognizable planet in the Star Wars franchise, and it says, immediately, Coruscant. And I'm like, cool. I'm an idiot, apparently. Like, imagine in episode 5 if it came up with Hoth.
Also, there's some dialogue at the very start where Osha and another mechanic are like fixing something, and they're like, oh, the humans are disposable, the gas bags. It's like, we can hear you. And it's like, oh, embarrassing.
He's behind me, isn't he?
I was like, that's fucking cringe. So some of the dialogue is cringy.
And the way everyone's talking, it probably doesn't feel Star Wars. That's part of it.
Yeah.
But like the Jedi are talking very, very formal. It's like they've gone overboard
I want to slap
prestigious Jedi
every time he speaks, especially in those opening scenes. Like, I get it. He's just gotten the rank of knight and he's like, I guess a goody two shoes character.
He thinks he's superior now.
But he's like, I don't know. He just like acts so robotic.
I hope he's unlikable for a reason. If he's just unlikable because they're terrible at writing, that'll suck. But if I'm meant to not like him, then that's okay.
I think they're trying to show the difference between like a Jedi Knight and like a Jedi Master. Like, you know how X-23 walks in on Soul and he's like watching old pictures of Osha, whatever, and she's like, why do you have pictures of that? You know that force that causes this and that can sway your emotions. Like, it's like, I feel like Yod and X-23 and like they're going to show that like that generation of Jedi, or like, the Padawans and the Knights are like so stuck to like the code, make sure I follow it. But then the Masters, I guess, like Soul, or maybe they're trying to show how mature Soul is, who are like, no. You can have these things, you need to reflect on them and like understand how they can affect you. And that's what makes you like truly great.
Well, Soul is the Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yes.
He's the grey. He's like not quite a rule follower, but it feels like they're going too far. Like the reason the Jedi fell is because of their hubris, and like they thought they were too hoity-toity. They were bureaucrats by the end of it. And I think this show is like overcorrected to be like, see, they were hoity-toity. So everyone's talking like a wanker now.
Yeah.
I don't like sand.
It just feels unnatural.
They go to the ice planet. They rescue Osha, who is seeing visions of her, who she thinks is a dead sister.
Yes, a dead twin sister.
Who tells her, I'm alive and I'm killing the Jedi. And she's like, oh my God.
Which is just straight up like a way to tell this character that her sister's alive.
Yeah.
Which then later on, when she discovers her sister's alive, it's not really a surprise or anything. It's just like, yep, saw that.
Because also, how original. Two people who are maybe twins connected in the Force. We've never seen that before. Luke and Leia, Rey and Kylo. Those two guys from that
cool as hell
cinematic. And then now these two. It's like, this isn't an original premise. I know what they're going for. Light side, dark side, twins, connection through the Force. But that whole thing has been done before. I think the way they did it with like her, like she was knocked out, I think, in seeing her little sister's ghost, or she like wakes up and whatever. I think they should have lent way more into that. Like, we'll talk about this later on, maybe like what I want to do with it, but they should have kept the fact that she didn't know her sister was alive yet, or no one knew her sister was alive yet. but her sister was like communicating through her, and she doesn't know if she's talking to a ghost or a real.
Yeah. And also they believe her immediately, like, because she thinks her sister's alive, and because Sol knew she had a sister, he's like, oh, it wasn't this chick, but someone that looks like her is trying to kill people.
Yeah.
It was her sister. That's the mystery behind it, because they say at the beginning that the evil sister burnt down killed the whole family.
She caused a fire that did it,
But then they say later on it wasn't her, and it was the Jedi or something. Like, they're trying to do intrigue, but they only just touch on it, and it doesn't feel like this 2-episode premiere gets enough into it to have me hooked.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the ending of Invincible Season 1, where Omni-Man slaughters everyone, and you're like, nothing that big happens that you need to know why. It's just kind of like, they allude to something a little bit, and I'm not overly interested.
They don't go enough into what happened, nor do they go enough into the people who caused it for it to kind of grab you. It's like they want us to start snowballing ourselves. No, you guys need to start the snowball.
Well, Indara was alive for 2 minutes, and she didn't really say anything apart from when she saw the scar or like the tattoo.
And then Master Torbjorn is like, I'm so sorry. And then, so it's like, we need a bit more.
Yeah, and I have the guess that either the Jedi are super evil to make, or like, they did something horrible to make the bad guy look like a good guy, whereas it's not going to add up to that.
Yeah.
Like, Torbjorn kills himself. I almost guarantee that whatever they did on the planet isn't worth him going in a fake coma for 10 years and then killing himself.
Yeah. He was like, I think it's like a 10-year meditation or whatever. Also, shouldn't there be some kind of Jedi holy place that he should be doing his 10-year silence?
Just local Jedi outpost.
Just in a room that no one can ever use ever again.
That was like some guy's bedroom, and he's like, fuck, man.
He's like, fuck, he started meditating. We can't move him.
For 10 years?
10 years.
They can't even get to him. He's got a force field.
Is he shitting and farting?
Oh, God. Did he stop shitting and farting?
It's like a bear. He ate a bunch of like dry grass to clog himself up. I haven't done enough reading into this show, so maybe they've like explained it enough.
I doubt it.
But I think the bad guy isn't a bad guy at all. I think they're a neutral side.
Yes, I reckon the bad guy is the green woman.
I think they're going to say at some point, no, we are the true balance to the Force.
From what I've seen from Leslie Headland, the showrunner.
Harvey Weinstein's...
Yeah, from what I've seen from Harvey Weinstein's alleged ex-apprentice. Her whole thing was, we want to make the Sith look like the underdogs.
Yeah.
Because when you flip it, like, Star Wars is about underdogs, is what she says. So when I make the Sith the underdogs, then the Jedi become the bad guys. So that's going to be her whole thing. So instead of just showing the order of the Jedi being condescending or like self-absorbed or something like that, that's why I feel like they're going to overcorrect and the Jedi will have done something horrible so that the bad guy isn't the bad guy. And that's not flipping the script. That's not doing anything interesting. That's just making the bad guys, they were Jedi. Like, oh, wow.
See, I think it's fucked up that, look, you can't have a show that stars both of them and have them both be the heroes, because that isn't what Star Wars is supposed to be.
You've forgotten. Modern bad guys can't be bad guys.
I know.
They'll have to be misunderstood.
It's my biggest thing that I freaking hate with modern writing.
And it's not even just like, they had good reasons to do what they did. So
no,
they're a good guy in their mind. They're a good guy in our mind too.
Yeah. She doesn't kill the kid in the bar at the start. And she's like, okay. Whereas any OG Sith would have been like, nope.
Yep. And then you have the trouble of like redeeming them. Like, they were hurt. Like, Anakin does a small genocide to the Sand people.
The Sand women and the Sand children too.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we're still like, but he was angry. Like, they did a bad thing.
Yeah.
He did a bad thing. It balances out. Whereas this is like...
And he's not even a Sith. He's a Jedi who acts in anger. This is a bad person.
That we think.
Well, we think.
Oh. But that's what I mean. Like, yeah, she's redeemable without even having done anything wrong.
Something's going to happen and she's going to justify her actions and someone's going to go, well, that kind of makes sense.
We'll have to have someone actually say it out loud because we're on our phones and we're like,
it
does. Because we're stupid now. But the rest of the show, I mean, honestly, we accidentally covered everything except the actual plot because Evil Sister goes to kill another Jedi. We find out a little bit about the master. Not really. We find out she has a master, I guess, who has a red lightsaber because evil.
And a mask because evil.
And a mask because we got to make people think it's Starkiller. Then they show up to stop her. they're too late. He gets poisoned. Or sorry, he kills himself with
Kills
poison
himself.
because Vietnam flashback. And then we get our second fight scene in 2 episodes. That's basically the same fight scene again. If anything, they down the ante.
Well, yeah, because they took away May's weapon, so there isn't that she's gonna like mix combos and then out of nowhere throw a dagger, which has to be force stopped.
And there's no surrounding people. Like the bar was full of other people. So if anything, the fight in the first 2 minutes of the show is more interesting than the fight in the second episode.
Well, it's gotta draw you in. It's gotta keep you there.
And it doesn't.
We're
gonna get one kung fu fight per episode. Turns out they couldn't catch her because they're incompetent. Because fat Kiwi Jedi. He's probably not even Kiwi. He's definitely fat though. A girl comes to talk to him, so he stops looking at Jason from The Good Place and is like, oh, hey. And then they sneak out and he's like, golly gosh, like escape.
We lost him.
And then they run to, and it's like, these people are incompetent now because they need to be for the show.
Yeah, the show's just like, oh, what can we do? It's like my biggest fucking annoyance with how May leaves that fight is we have a Jedi Knight and a Jedi Master. Okay, and Sol has shown how adept he is in the Force. He can read people's minds. May looks at the ground and I'm like, she's gonna fucking cause a dust storm.
She's gonna pocket sand.
She forces the ground, dust goes everywhere, and they're like, whoa, we lost her. Do you remember fucking episode 4? And I don't care that Luke was the fucking chosen one. He puts on the shield thing and he's deflecting, or he's at least trying to deflect the thing.
Yes.
The Force.
They don't have to lose
You don't
her.
need your eyes. And there's blind Jedi.
Yeah, but they got sand in their eyes.
They all sand in their eyes.
But also, she doesn't get far away. Like, they show her just, like, running down the alley.
Yeah.
And these people are like, oh, and they have, like, a ship above that's like, I lost her. Like, so there's a smoke storm here. And, like, he would have just seen her run. Yes, people are incompetent. And then the sisters see each other from a distance. And they go, pew, pew. And they end on not a cliffhanger or anything. It's like, she gets away and she's going to go fight the Wookiee Jedi. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do a 2-episode premiere, it needs to end with something that's going to bring me back for next week.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just, they show a Wookiee on a Dagobah from Timu, and then he just walks into his shack.
He uses the Force on some guy's gun, breaks it, and then roars at him, and then he's like,
Am I supposed to squeal that there's a Wookiee? Like,
how I wanted that episode to end. Picture it. They go into the ship to get the hyperdrive. It's pitch black in there. They're like, blimey, I can't see a bloody thing, whatever they say. And then it's like, can you turn on a light? And then all of a sudden you just see bzzz, and then you just see a Wookiee's face behind it. And then it's just outside of the ship. You don't see anything, and all you hear is gzz, 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 gzz. And that would have been freaking badass.
but would that have made you want to come back next week? What did you think of the Force Foo?
Force Foo was kind of cool.
It just felt like the Matrix to me.
It did just feel like we were in the
It's
Matrix.
also that the 2 fights are both Force Foo, which made it feel like that's the only fighting style that they do nowadays. Like, you could cut off her arms or something. I don't know. And neither Jedi bring out their lightsabers initially, and they just they Matrix style kung fu fight.
They needed to find a way in the story for
her to stand a chance.
Yeah, her whole thing is she needs to prove herself to her master by killing a Jedi without using a weapon. You can't have her. You definitely could. It would be badass if she's trying to fight somebody. Someone's trying to kill her with a lightsaber, and she's dupping. She's doing all kinds of dip, dive, dops, and dodges. To get away from it. And like the Jedi's like, fuck, I can't kill her with this. I have to rethink the strategy.
Well, otherwise you just force. Like, yeah, the Force is very inconsistent just in these 2 things. Like, I know it's kind of inconsistent in all of Star Wars, but they grab people with the Force very rarely, but then they do it in the same fight, and it's like, couldn't you have opened with that? Like, at least Kylo opened with the whole, I'm gonna freeze you in position like twice, because that's his thing. Whereas halfway through both these fights, they use the Force to freeze a certain person. And they seem to only be able to use the Force when they're looking at something now, which just makes it a little...
Yeah.
It's like underpowered and stupid. Like, the reason Indara dies
Trinity has to look
because she's
away.
forcing over here.
She has to look away.
And then cops a knife in the chest. Like, she doesn't have 2 hands for one. She was just blocking with a lightsaber. And it's like the Force seems to take them time.
She should be omnipotent with the Force. That's how the Force is described. It's an energy field that's everywhere.
It surrounds us and penetrates us.
They manipulate these midichlorians. That's been taken out, sorry. She should have been able to stop that, and then as the other blade was coming, it just stops with her mind.
Or
She shouldn't have...
when
firstly,
she
shouldn't
noticed
have
May
to-
look at the guy, look at her dagger, look at the guy, boom, Force push onto wall. It's inconsistent so that May can stand a chance, which
Yeah.
is just like, again, it goes along with everybody's dumb to make May stand a chance. What if Trinity just were like immediately like, she's like, fight me with all your might, and she's like, blah, blah, and she like, both her hands hit the ground.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no.
Or she just uses the Force to lobotomize her, like within her brain or
Snap.
something. Testicular torsion her or something. It's a mid. I'm feeling very mid. You know, I'm angry at parts. I'm like, oh, that's cool in parts because it's still Star Wars and I still love Star Wars. So I'm trying to give it as many grains of salt as I can. But I'm not looking forward to this season for no reason other than I think the writing is going to be bad so that they can just have the characters do whatever they want.
Yeah,
and
so far it
I
doesn't
don't like that
inspire me.
about. Yeah, this does not inspire joy. What about you?
Toss it in the trash. Yeah, I'm the same. No one's super annoyed me except Yord, but again, maybe I'm supposed to be annoyed by him. But like, May is likable enough just because she hasn't done anything super annoying or stupid. She's just
a little
like,
bit cringy, but that's okay. She's like an edgelord.
Oh, sorry, not May. Osha. May is cringy edgelord, but again, she's whatever. If anything, May is the Mary Sue because she's the
May's
bad guy
gonna
who's
follow the
good
same
guy.
story beats that Sabine did last in Ahsoka, where it's like she did train, but now she's gonna retrain.
You mean Osha as well?
Yeah.
We're gonna get those confused a lot because they're the same person.
Sorry, Osha and Sabine, same.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked because nothing's original in Star Wars. The only thing that's keeping me on is the cool looking stuff and the fun droids and aliens.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about the plot at all because...
I just want to see new things from probably one of my favorite universes that have been
that's
created.
all I'm in it for currently.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's not inspiring joy. You're right.
Tell us what you thought of the episode. Does the Acolyte spark joy?
Tell us where you think it's going. I'm sure there's leaks out there. So if you actually know, don't tell us.
And subscribe. Thank you again for 1,000 subscribers. It was very cool, you guys.